Okay. Good morning once more. Today
Yes,
we are
ma'am.
going to have a lesson on heritage studies. Heritage studies. Please, can you write that down? We're going to have a lesson on heritage studies. Heritage studies. Okay, on heritage studies, we've been talking about entitlements, rights, and responsibilities, okay? We talked about
Yes, ma'am.
citizenship. We also talked about rights. We talked about the different rights that children have, okay? You have your right to food, you have
Yes,
your
ma'am.
right to shelter, you have your right to privacy, and we say that every right comes with a responsibility. Today, we want to talk about something that involves rights, but we want to talk about something that involves when someone infringes or does something bad to a child's right. Today we are going to talk about abuse. Okay, let's write that down.
Yes,
Abuse.
ma'am.
We're going to talk about abuse. Okay, we're going to talk about abuse
Yes,
of children, women, and men. Abuse of children, women, and men. Okay,
ma'am.
let us write the heading child abuse. I want to define child abuse. You might be asked in an exam, what is child abuse? Okay, then you have to define child abuse, because when we talk about rights, we always talk about child abuse because there are some people who can abuse a child, who can infringe a children's rights, and we call that child abuse. If you are not given food, okay, let's say maybe at home,
Yes,
if at home there is food, right? The food is there and they don't
yes,
give you food, that is child abuse, okay? But if mommy and daddy
yes,
say that they don't have money to buy you chicken in, but there is salsa and vegetables for you, that is not abuse, okay? Because they are giving you
yes,
something, okay? They can give you salsa with vegetables, that is food. It's not child abuse because they have given you something to eat. But if there is food and you stay for a week without eating anything or drinking anything, that now is child abuse, okay? And we also say
yes,
that when we talk about rights, you have a responsibility. So let us define what exactly is child abuse, because you hear children saying, yeah, Takuta was abusing me. But that word, really, what does it mean? Okay, child abuse, this is when a child's rights, you can take that down. Child abuse is when a child's rights, this is when a child's rights, when a child's rights, when a child's rights are not honored. When a child's rights are not honored, honored is Honourred. Michaela, may you unlock your video. When a child's rights, okay? When a child's rights, morning, Michaela.
Morning, ma'am.
Morning. Thank you for making it. We are doing heritage studies. Please, can you take that down? You've already found us. We are in it, but we have just started, okay? Today we are learning about abuse of children, women, and men. The topic of abuse is very sensitive. Why? Because people sometimes they think they are being abused when they are not, and also some people are abused but they don't know. So you must know when you are abused, and also you must know when you are not abused, okay? You cannot go and report
Yes,
someone
ma'am.
and say your parents are abusing you when they are not doing that, okay? And sometimes you are not supposed to keep quiet when you are abused, okay? Because you might not
Yes,
know that you are actually being abused. So today we want to put it open so that you know exactly what is abuse. We say child abuse is when a child's rights are not honored or respected. That is the definition. When children's rights are not honored or respected. Okay, that's what I say, that if let's say you are born and you are not given a name, that is abuse. Okay, everyone must be called by their name. We should not say, hey you boy, you short one, hey you fat one. Takuza, I cannot see your face properly. Oh yes, that's better. You, someone must not say, hey you boy, hey you slim one, you skinny one. That's not right. They must call you with your name. They must say, how are you, Sean Mazana? How are you, Takuza Muchine Zulu? That is exactly what we call, that's good, okay? So a child must have a name. That if a child does not have a name, that is child abuse because your rights are not respected. We said you have a right to a name, If you are not given a name, you are abused. You have a right to food. If you are not given food, you are abused. But we're not saying that you cry for chicken in when mama does not have money. That's not abuse. If mama gives you sata with vegetables, even without meat takutwa, that is good. It's good for you. It is food, right? Yes. Don't choose and say, oh, because mama did not buy me ice cream, she's abusing me. No, 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 no. Mama is to give you food. If she has given you bread with butter, that's okay. You eat that. It's not abuse because someone else is being given polony. That doesn't mean you are abused. Do you understand? So we must know what abuse is. And we say that infringing on a child's rights is abuse, okay? So when your rights are not respected, when your rights are not honored, you are abused. That's when you can say, I am abused, okay? Yes. When you don't have a name, let's say you are sleeping outside, okay? You have your parents, they sleep in the house, they lock you outside, and you sleep outside. That is abuse, okay? Because you have a right to shelter. If you are walking naked, okay? I can see all of us here, we are not abused because Takuta is wearing a nice jacket. I can see Sean has a nice jacket there. Yeah, I can see behind Sean there is a house there. Sean, you're not outside. I can see Takuta, you're leaning on the wall, so you're not abused. Michaela, I can see you're also in the house. You are wearing something. You're not abused. Do you understand? So whenever we talk about abuse, it's a very big term. Don't just use it anyhow. In places like the United States of America, if a child says, my mother is abusing me, do you know that they lock your mother out? They take you away from your mother and they arrest your parents. Okay, so the term abuse, and also if you are abused, you must report. Okay, you must report. You are advised to report if you feel that you're abused. You must know exactly that, yes, I am abused, and then you report. Okay,
Yes,
I want
yes,
to read you a story about Alice. Okay, I want you to listen. Alice kept on crying. Alice kept on crying and sobbing quietly to herself. She hated herself. She didn't know what to do. This usually happened when her father was away. Her stepmother would beat her up and deny her the right to food. As I am reading, I want you to take down the things that you can see that Alice is being abused or not, okay? So when this usually happened when her father was away, her stepmother would beat her up and deny her the right to food. After all this, she would show her a knife. The stepmother would show her a knife and swear to kill her if Alice told anyone. This very day, her father had gone to South Africa. This very day, this is the day. Can you see the picture there? That is Alice there. Shawnee, can you see the picture? Sean,
yes,
you're able to see this very day, okay? This very day, her father had gone to South Africa. She felt unwanted and unloved. She thought it was her fault that her mother had passed on. She thought if she told someone, she would be killed. If she told her father might beat her and may chase her away. At times, she thought of hurting herself. She was now in grade 5, and at school, she was shy and withdrawn. What type of abuse do you think Alice is experiencing? Can you tell me the things that you listened to my story? What can you tell me about this story about Alice? Yes, Sean?
her stepmother used to beat her or point a knife at her to try to kill her if she ever told anyone.
Yes. Her stepmother would threaten her. That is threatening. If someone threatens you with a knife and says, if you do this, I am going to kill you, that is abuse, okay? That is, and also her mother would beat her up for no reason. For no reason. Remember that if you are going to steal sugar at home, and if you are going to do something bad, your mother is going to beat you up for that. That is not abuse. You know what you did, right? Yes. But if you look at Alice, her stepmother would just beat her up for no reason every day. She would just come in and beat her up and would threaten her as well. Thank you, Sean, for that. Anything else that you can say about the story? This
Yes,
story,
teacher.
yes, Chakuzo.
She will deny her food.
She would deny her food, which means Alice would go on an empty stomach. She would go hungry the whole day. The father was not there. Remember, our fathers can go to work. Alice's stepmother was staying at home, and Alice would remain with an empty stomach. Okay? Yes. Michaela, was your hand up? Did you want to say something? Yes, Michaela. I'm coming back to you, Sean. Yes, Michaela.
Ma'am, it would usually happen when her father was away so that her stepmother doesn't get in trouble.
Yes. The stepmother would wait for the father to go away, and then she would start doing all those things, beat her up, threaten her, and everything. And also, yes, Sean, yes, Sean.
And she thought that it was her fault that her mother died.
Yes. The moment that a child starts, you start feeling guilty and you start blaming yourself. The moment you see Alice was now blaming herself for her mother's death because the way her stepmother was treating her, it was making her to blame herself and to think that it was her fault that her mother had died. And let's talk about who she was at school. What kind of a child was Alice at school? What kind of a child was Alice at school? Yes, Shoni? Yes, Sean?
She was shy.
She was shy and withdrawn. Who can tell me what withdrawn means? Who can tell me what withdrawn means? The term withdrawn, we use it. You know, when you have these children, you know that people are shy, right? Maybe Michaela, we know Michaela in class. Michaela, she's shy. She doesn't talk much. She doesn't get involved in all the things. If maybe we say people are making noise, yes, Sean Takuta will be on the top list, but maybe Michaela will be shy, right? Because Michaela is shy. But someone who is withdrawn, even if you try to talk to this person, you feel this person doesn't even talk anything. And if you try to talk to someone who is withdrawn, they have fear in them. Have you ever noticed those people who are just fearful? If you just say hi, they just, they think maybe you're going to beat them up or something because they're always being beaten up. That's what we call withdrawn, okay? People are shy. There's a difference between being shy and being withdrawn. When you are shy and withdrawn, it's even hard for a person to talk. Okay? You see, Michaela can be shy or Sean can be shy. But if you ask a question, they talk. Or if Michaela meets a friend, she talks, right? But you feel there's this child
Yes.
who cannot even make friends. Even if you try to say hi, they don't talk back to you. They don't even make any friends. Okay? When the teacher tries to talk to them, they always feel that the teacher is always going to beat them up. Okay? They are withdrawn. Those are symptoms of abuse. Okay? Those are symptoms of a child who has some problems at home. Okay? So the reason why we're also learning Alice's story is not only that Mrs. Mlotshwa knows, but also you as well. Maybe you can identify your friend as well. Remember, when you learn about abuse, it's not that you are only abused. Your friend can be abused, okay? And it is your duty to identify that your friend is abused and be a shoulder to cry on, okay? And let them open up to you, because people who are abused, they fail to open up to people. They need to trust someone to open up. They might not trust Mrs. Mlotshwa, but they can trust you as their friend, so that they can open up to you and you can help them. Do you understand? I can see there are some hands which were up. I'm going to start with Sean. Your hand was up. Yes, Sean?
Yes, I wanted to ask, why do parents like abusing kids?
Why do parents love to abuse kids? It depends, Sean. If you look at the story with the stepmother, maybe the stepmother did not love the child. Do you understand? Maybe she did not like Alice, because now if you look at the stepmother, she is not the actual mother of Alice. Maybe she did not like Alice at all. There are so many reasons. Some people just do it because they are just hateful people. They just don't like children. Okay, if you look at the story about Alice, she just didn't like Alice, and that's why she was abusive to her. Probably she didn't even want her to stay there. There are so many reasons that people can abuse. And remember, it's not only parents, even other external relatives, anyone can abuse a child. Anyone. It's not only parents only, but other people around them, anyone can abuse a child, okay? Yes. So might be people who are just hateful people, people who don't love, and maybe they don't love a child. That's why I say you must know the difference between abuse and not being abused, because your parents hit you because maybe you did something wrong, but that doesn't mean they are abusing you. Do you understand? There should be that. There is a difference. They want to reprimand you, okay? Because if you steal, Sean, and your mother doesn't tell you to stop stealing, you're going to steal until you get older. If you steal until you get older, where are you going to end up? Where will you end up?
Jail.
In jail. And when
Jail.
you go to jail, who are you going to blame? You're going to blame your mother and say, she didn't tell me that this thing is wrong. Do you understand? If she had told you, you were going to end up a businessman, or a president, but just because she didn't tell you, you are now in the jail. Do you understand? And some people are given a jail sentence for life. You go to jail, you don't go out again. Do you understand? And a part of your life is taken away, which is not fair. Do you understand that? Thank you, Sean, for that question. Michaela, your hand was up.
Ma'am,
Yes, Michaela.
why do strangers like abusing children?
Sorry?
Why do strangers like abusing children?
Yes, that's why I was saying that some people, there are some hateful people out there. You remember when we talked about strangers? Don't talk to strangers, okay? Don't interact with them. Some people are just hateful people, okay? They are not everyone is nice to children. It goes with the person, just the person's character. That person is not a good person. You know, there are good people and there are bad people out there, okay? So some people are just bad people. They just bad people who just don't like children and they do these things on children, which is not good. And that's why we say you must report if something like that happens to you. You must open up because they threaten you. You see, Alice was being threatened and she was quiet. What can happen to Alice? At the end of the day, people like Alice, they kill themselves. They commit suicide. The children end up killing themselves. Okay? Yes. Takuza, your hand is up.
Yes, I wanted to say that I was watching this video on YouTube and it was like it really happened, but it was like they animated it but they didn't tell us how this happened and this. But they were saying that there was a girl who had a parents and then the mother died.
Okay.
After that, the father got married to another woman who was working at the same place with him for just after 2 years. And then after that, the daughter was surprised, saying, huh, how could you get married in 2 years? And then she just let it go. The mother had a daughter who was like younger to the other daughter. So when the father, it was like also for Addison, but when the father, when he became to become sick and sick and sick, and the stepmother did not even worry. She kept on, she did not pay for the child's school fees, and also the child also had to go to pay for herself, and she started living by herself in the streets. And then after that, one her father, before he died, said that I'm going to see your mother, and that's how she ended up living by herself.
Yes. So you see, these stories, they happen, okay? But if you find children like that, if that girl is your friend Takuto, okay? Instead of her keeping it to herself, if you know, you are able to give her knowledge so that she is able to what? To open up to you, and she can see how she can be assisted in other ways, okay? Yes, that's why we learn these topics on child abuse, okay? So that not only, I'm not saying you are abused, but we are saying so that you can assist someone else who is also abused. You become a shoulder to lean on so that they can be able to open up. Yes, Sean?
I wanted to ask that why do fathers, when they get married to another mother and then that mother becomes your stepmother, after some couple of days, if the child wants to tell the father and she thinks that the father will chase out of the house, why do people think that?
I think it's because if you look at the mother roles and the father roles, right? The mommy is always around, right? Mommy is always in the house and the father goes to work, okay? So that's why children feel that if you tell, and also most of the decisions in the house, they are made by mommy, okay? Because daddy is always away on work, you understand? So most children feel that it is hard for them to tell the fathers. And mostly if we look at abusive cases, it's mostly the girl child, right? It would be a girl. For a girl to open up to the father, it becomes hard for her. It would be easier for her to open up to the mother. And if the mother is the stepmother, that's why it becomes hard for her. And she keeps it to herself, just like what Alice was doing as well. You understand? It is because it would be hard for them to open up. And it's also, even if it's a boy child, it's also hard. When someone is abused, right? A person can be threatened. They can be threatened not to say anything. And when they are threatened, they are not able to express themselves. Do you understand? So they need someone to trust. And for them to need to get someone to trust, they can maybe trust a friend who is young like you. Maybe you can find someone telling you that, I haven't been eating for 5 days now. And then you start asking why, then they start opening up because they cannot open up to the parents. And sometimes they think if I open up to daddy, You see, if I open up to daddy, what about mommy? Do you understand? They think maybe they will create a conflict between the parents. So that's why children cannot open up. Okay, so you become the support system. You become the support system to the children, okay, to your friends. You become the support system. That's why we teach you guys, so that because we know you are closer to them than me. Do you understand? She'll say, Mrs. Mlotshwa, maybe Mrs. Mlotshwa will report me to mommy, but she knows that if I tell Shoni or Takuta, Takuta will keep it, you see, and you are also going to be able to see how best you can assist them. Yes, let me take one hand for Michaela and then tell you about the 2 types of abuse, okay? Yes, Michaela?
Ma'am, there was my mother was watching a channel, right? So there was
Sorry?
this 5-year-old girl. There
Yes.
was this 5-year-old girl. A man kidnapped her and then he abused her. And then after a few days, he burnt her in the fire. And then after that, they made a thing. She was 5 years old, and they made a thing called the April Project. And then they made sure that no pictures of children come on the internet. That didn't work.
Yes, so you see these cases are there, but remember that if you are able to know, okay, because sometimes it's hard to open up to an adult, you understand? Your friends can open up to you at school, you talk to them over WhatsApp, okay? You are able to tell them that this is abuse, and if you are abused, you must report it, okay? So that it is able to stop. Because whoever threatens them, they threaten them that if you talk, you won't be assisted. But if you talk, you are going to be assisted. You understand there? Okay. Just give me 2 more minutes. I want us to look at, I want to briefly talk about the 2 types of abuse, then I'll take your questions. Okay, we have, okay, let me give it this way. I want you to go and research on these 2 so that I can take your hands, okay? So go and research about sexual abuse. Can you write that down so that I can take your hands before we end our meeting? We're left with 3 minutes. I want to be able to take the hands because I can see there are burning issues. There are burning issues, okay? And also verbal and bullying abuse. Verbal and bullying abuse. I want you to go and research about those 3, okay? Tomorrow, I'm going to continue my lesson again, this one, because I noticed it's a burning issue. Can I have the 2 last questions before we close? Sean, yes, then Takut, I'll take your question as well. Yes, Sean?
Yes, teacher, is it true that some kids, when they get abused, they run away from home and start being street kids?
Yes, it is true, Sean. Yes, it is true. Some children who are on the streets, they are on the streets because of abuse. Do you understand? And they are there because they don't know, okay? They don't know that it is better to talk, right? And when they are on the streets, they are exposed to bad things, okay? They start smoking cigarettes, they start becoming these street kids who take away things from people. It is because it has started in the home and they did not know. Do you understand? They fail to get someone to talk to. It is true, Sean. Some children are on the street because they are naughty, they want to be on the street, while some other children, they are on the street due to abuse cases. Yes, it is true. Takuda, let me take your question. Yes, TC?
This one it's a real story, teacher.
Okay.
There was this small girl who was afraid of sleeping in the dark, so
Okay.
she would always sleep with her mother. And then one day her mother she slept very nicely and quietly, and she didn't want to disturb her mother, so she slept in her own room with the light on. So
Yes.
and then there was this man who came and took her out, and she found this, and he choked her, and then she was like he she was collapsed, like, and then she woke up, she found herself in a field, and then he raped her, and after that he cut open where her voice comes out, and
Okay.
then she could not talk for some time, and then after 21 years they found that man, and then she told the case about it, and then the man went to jail.
Yes, thank you for that question. Thank you for that, Takuta. The story for Takuta is the end part, okay? When you are abused, when you report, it is stopped, okay? It is stopped. And when it is stopped, which means that you are going to get better. Do you understand? And those people who abuse children, they must end up in jail because it is not good. Imagine staying for a week without eating, okay? Imagine a child who doesn't have any clothes. Imagine when we talk about sexual abuse, the one that I told you about that you should go and research about, abuse is not good. Any type of abuse is not good to any child, and it must be reported, okay? Thank you so much for this wonderful lesson, okay? I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'm going to write questions. Let us go and research. Research on sexual abuse, research on verbal abuse, okay? Bullying abuse, research on emotional abuse, okay? I'm going to write it on the Google Classroom, these researches. Then tomorrow we are going to continue because this lesson was full of discussion, okay? So tomorrow come again with more fire, okay? All right. So let me give you a chance to say goodbye to one another before we end our lesson for today. Bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, teacher. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, Nigeria. Okay.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget the research.
Bye.
Use the internet and
Okay.
research. Good. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.